Tuesday, July 22nd. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus. It's good to have you again here. This live stream, as always, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches, our good friends at the Dubliner West Portal. Good to see all of you. Hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. And again, it's finally about to happen. Football on the field tomorrow. We get 49ers on a football field tomorrow, in front of the press anyways, and I plan on being down there. Now, I could have been down there today. We've got Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch both giving their first, and as far as I'm concerned, their final blah, blah, blah. It's the final blah, blah, blah of the offseason or the first blah, blah, blah of the regular season. Either way, you know, I like Shanahan and Lynch an awful lot. I really do. And I'm not one of those guys, you got to win a Super Bowl or there's nothing else to really talk about. But that's kind of where they are. The question is at all times, no matter what your question might be about, whether it be about wide receiver depth, whether it be about team culture, whether it be about who might get signed or offseason contractual negotiations, no matter what the question is, it's just wrapping paper for the actual question that's being asked at all times. Have you guys won the Super Bowl yet? And the answer, unfortunately for them, is no. Every single question that they're being asked between now and the time they win a Super Bowl is just sort of a version of, how come you guys haven't done it yet? So I'm all done with press conferences. Like I'll go down there and cover practice, but I'm not driving to Santa Clara just to hear people talk. I am all 49er talked out. I mean, I need football. I need actual players playing the game and reacting to things that are happening on the practice field, on the actual field. Mental strategy, team building, concepts, roster construction, all this stuff has just been talked to death by yours truly. And it's been a pleasure. I mean, it's a lot better than talking about, real world problems, that's for sure. But I am officially like all 49er talked out. It's why I couldn't make it down there for the press conference today, but I will be down there tomorrow. I think Thursday and Friday as well for days 1, 2, and 3 of media is available to watch practice. Now that's going to be happening at 10:30 a.m. West Coast time, which means our 11 a.m. West Coast live stream obviously won't be going live at 11. We'll be doing videos about what I saw at practice from Santa Clara and posting them as soon as we can. So a great time to remind you to like, subscribe, and if you really want to make sure you don't miss anything, you hit that notify button as well. And every single time a live stream pops up, a new short, a new video, you will be notified. So thanks very much. Your support for the first 2 years here on YouTube has been incredible. And here we are in year number 3 going in to cover the NFL. Time flies when you're having an awful lot of fun. And this has been an awful lot of fun. But this is the year where we're going to get greedy. And I want 5,000 subscribers before we get to the bye week. I really do. And we're on our way. So please hit like and subscribe. Tell a friend about this show. Tell an adult about this show. Someone who's sick and tired of clickbait and extreme takes being offered up as journalism when really all it is pay attention to me, pay attention to me. No, I'm not going to tell you at all that we're doing capital J journalism. But what we're trying to do is get to the truth about things. We're not just trying to trend. We're not just trying to get attention on me. The attention is always on the topic. And the topic is usually Bay Area sports here on the Plus. So thank you again for being a part of this. It means an awful lot. We got Jacob saying, I'll take the long view rather than the myopic and short-sighted views. I guess we're talking about the 49ers. Yeah, I mean, for now, though, I mean, it really is. We've had so many tiny topics, long view topics. This is literally, it's every question to Phil Mickelson, no matter what it was before he won that Masters, is when you're going to win the Masters. No matter what the question actually was, that was the question. And that's it for Kyle Shanahan. Like, I know this sounds like I'm asking about your offensive line, but what I really want to know is, have you won the Super Bowl yet? That is a tough world to live in, by the way. The pressure on these guys is just extreme. There's no doubt about that. Everybody's well compensated, but nobody's getting younger looking while they do it. Nobody seems healthier day after day as they're doing it. It is a brutal job trying to deliver a Super Bowl championship. And when you get as close as the 49ers have had, and then find yourself almost overnight as far away from it as you can get. That's a tough pendulum to swing on, isn't it? To go from Super Bowl to, oh, you guys won 6 games. That's a tough ride. It's even harder to try to ride it back to the Super Bowl now, but that's what they're going to try to do. And, they got a shot. They got a shot. Is it a great shot? I don't know if it's a great shot, but it's a shot. I'll take a shot over no shot any day of the week. And anyone who right now wants to say, oh, yeah, great shot to win a Super Bowl, there's so many things that can happen between now and then that there's really no reason to get too excited about anybody's great shot. Let's make it to week 10 before we talk about who's really got a shot at this. Ooh, sip of the day. Perfect. Chef A wants to pound it. You get to pound it.
Pound it, pound it, pound it, pound it.
And yes, I did see earlier Postman saying we are officially approaching
Maximum
Let's do it, baby. Tomorrow it begins. Players on the field, and we'll be down there, and I'm really looking forward to it. But all the questions, and look, if I was down there today, my one question would be, why didn't you guys anticipate the Jauan Jennings holdout? You had to know that was coming, right? Even if he hadn't signaled it, this is the way business gets done by agents who are trying to do right by their clients. I bet you that they could have sort of, headed the old hold off at the pass if they had been proactive about it. If they were the ones to have said, hey, Jauan, we know you're not taken care of next year. We want to make sure that you are all set and you're comfortable and ready to go and compensated, even more fairly than you're being compensated right now. And I don't think it's unfair for Jauan to ask for a little bit more. But when you start hearing rumors of oh, you might want $20 million, $25 million a year, well, that's just, come on, dude. No, we ain't there yet. But man, if you really think that you're that player, then don't sign anything. Get yourself to camp, get to work, have a great year, and let the free market decide what you are worth. If you want to find out what something's worth, bring it to market. That's when you really find out. All of your Forbes valuations about teams and what they may be worth, hey, that's all just funny money until somebody actually puts it up for sale or somebody buys it. Jauan Jennings, that's a tough bet to make. You can believe in yourself all you want, but you also have to be aware that you're playing in a sport that ends careers quickly. So you want to have the assurance of, if it all ends today, I'm still taking care of tomorrow a little bit. I don't blame Jauan for this as much as I blame the 49ers for not being for not being ready to go and anticipating that the player would want this. Now, just Monday, the 49ers bring in 7 wide receivers for workouts, which is like an admission of, oh, man, we're kind of scrambling last minute here at a position that, has sort of said scramble to get it a little bit better shape than it's in right now this whole time. Well, 7 wide receivers work out on Monday. Their names, you'll recognize a few of them. None of these guys have long or storied or impactful NFL careers, but Equimania St. Brown is a name that once you hear it, that kind of stays with you. And obviously his brother Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the best wide receivers in football. Equimania St. Brown, Grant DeBose, Ramil Keaton, Stanley Morgan, Spencer Petras, Brandon Powell, and Quintez Cephas were all brought in for workouts as wide receivers just yesterday. Another way to describe these guys is their career catches respectively, in which case their names would be 63, 2, 0, 5, 0, 83, and 37. The 49ers worked out a group of basically nobodies on Monday at wide receiver. All the guys that they worked out have a combined 190 career catches among them. And that's with 2 of the guys having 0 career catches. Keenan Allen has 974 catches. He's 26 catches away from 1,000 career catches. Bring in Keenan Allen. If you were working out those 7 other guys, what you're saying is you need another wide receiver. None of those guys, all of those guys added together ain't even a fraction of as good as Keenan Allen. Now, if you want to say, well, look, they're looking younger than Keenan Allen. What good is young but doesn't know how to play when your other option is knows exactly how to play even though he's a little bit older? You know, you're not investing in Keenan Allen for a 3 or 4 year plan. You need Keenan Allen for the next 17 weeks of football. That's it. A 1 year, here it is deal. And if he proves himself unworthy of it at any point in time, you cut him and you walk away from what is a drop in the bucket of NFL money. If you've got a guy like Isaiah Nair who walks, off the undrafted field from Nebraska and turns into something that nobody could have expected. Or the kid from Oregon or Mississippi. Mississippi really works out. If you've got a player who turns into, hey, he's a better option than Keenan Allen, don't look at that as, we have Keenan Allen. Now what do? You then bench Keenan Allen if you have someone better than him. But believe me, as of right now, they got nobody better than Keenan Allen. That includes Jauan Jennings. That includes Ricky Pearsall. That includes Jacob Cowing. That includes Demarcus Robinson. If the 49ers sign Keenan Allen today, the scary thing is he might be their best wide receiver. These other 7 guys, they might as well be called almost was, never was, hasn't even come close yet. Not really. Come on now. Might have been, probably not going to happen. That's who they brought in. Keenan Allen is someone who's done it, who's rung the bell in this league and was in a situation last year that was hardly built for success, yet he still had a decent amount of it. So, good to see an awful lot of the regulars in here. Good to see you all. Thank you very much. Got San Bruno Mike excited for that first sip of the day. We need another one right here, Mike. Well, we're also going to need at some point in time today, you as well. It's going to be lunch, baby. What are you doing for lunch today? I hope you plan on doing it at Ike's. My man Ike has something delicious just waiting for you at his sandwich. You want to get really personal? You can eat me today. I am delicious. You will like me. I hope you like steak. I hope you like onion rings. I hope you like provolone. I hope you like a little steak sauce. I hope you like a little Godfather sauce. I like onions on that bad boy as well. Get yourself a Damon Bruce at Ike's. If you're not around a Damon Bruce, if you're not around in Ike's, hopefully you will be soon. It is one of the fastest growing restaurant empires in America, expanding ever eastward. Again, they're opening a new shop down in San Diego. I believe this week is an official grand opening for my man Ike. I'm so proud of him. He has done so much to support me here. You can support me by supporting my sponsors. Get yourself a sandwich for Ike's. Think about ordering Ike's catering for your office as well. And then you want the best happy hour you're going to get? If you work downtown or you work anywhere across a Muni line, get on Muni, come on out to West Portal, and get yourself to the Dubliner. Bring the whole office to the Dubliner West Portal and have a great happy hour. Where are you watching old Giants Braves? The way the Giants have been playing, you need a drink as you watch the San Francisco Giants. Check out the Dubliner West Portal. Love those guys. Tell them that the Plouffe sent you. They love hearing that. Say hi to Kenny and John for me. And again, I'm going to be in there soon enough, and we'll hopefully be talking about another Plouffe Mania and maybe even a trip to the ballpark to all go together to a Giants game with like a group ticket buy or something like that. So lots more fun coming, even though football season's around the corner. We still got a little baseball, and we'll talk a little baseball before it's all said and done here today as well. But man, there's a fascinating story in the NFL, and it's a team that, has created their own bad situation. As usual, that's the situation the Bengals create for themselves, bad situations. And they got a bad situation right now with their rookie, Shamar Stewart, still holding out. He is still not in the building. He is yet to do anything in Cincinnati to prepare for this upcoming season since the day he was drafted, because the Bengals are trying to squeeze in a new clause in his contract that he says, I don't want to sign it like that. Now, Cincinnati says, hey, look, this other clause is already in other teams' contracts. This isn't so foreign. It shouldn't stop us from doing business. But again, they're asking Stewart to be the first to agree to this in their organization. And no one wants to be that first person through the wall, especially when you think this is actually a clause that might be working against me. Oh, JJ Rader's in the house, and people are excited to see JJ. And they're like, what's going on, Ganja Jar? Good to see you. 49ers sign Equimania St. Brown. Is that like official? I try not to get any news off of our fabulous chat line. I love you all. Let me quickly, though, go here and see Mayoko. What do we got anything here? For the Equimania, the 49ers signed Equimania St. Brown to their 90-man roster at the opening of training camp. A 6-year NFL veteran. Again, so I'll tell you this. Of all the numbers that I gave you, Equimania St. Brown was the 63. He's got 63 career catches. Not a lot, right? But he has played in this league. Of all of those guys that I was talking about, he would have been the one that interested me the most, he or Brandon Powell. Matt Mayoko also saying that, Ricky Pearsall is cleared to go early in camp here. He's not expected to be activated on Wednesday, but could be ready to go in the early acclimation period, according to Lynch and Shanahan. That is good news. Brandon Ayuk's in a good place, apparently. Working on that rehab, not close to having any kind of timeline, which is a lot different than might be available week 1, which is what Matt Mayoko was actually saying not too long ago. I don't know where Matt Mayoko got that, by the way, but Equimania St. Brown, everybody. Are you excited? My answer is not really. Not really. Another good sip. Another good sip. What is this? Hold on. Ozzy Osbourne just died? Dude, they got in that final Black Sabbath concert right in time then, right? Seriously? Wow. 14 minutes ago, they published a story. Ozzy Osbourne dies just weeks after a farewell show at the age of 76. Wow. Ozzy Osbourne gone. Now, one of my son's nickname is Ozzy. It's really not for Ozzy Osbourne, but I'm not going to tell you that hurt his chances of having that nickname. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, one of the great voices in rock history. Man, thank God he got into that last concert in when he did. Thank goodness. By the way, anyone who says he's looking like he's near death then, well, guess what? He was. How about that? Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Well, that got me all distracted. I was about to tell you about the Bengals, right? And then we got Equimania St. Brown signing with the 49ers. Then we got Ozzy Osbourne dying. A lot has happened in the last 4 minutes. So let me get back to where I was in this show, shall I? Because this is really interesting what's going on with the Cincinnati Bengals. Prince Grimes of USA Today summed it up, I think, better than anybody, because it's a little bit of a complicated story. So training camp began Saturday for rookies, and first rounder Shamar Stewart still isn't in the building because of a dispute over language regarding guarantees in the contract that he was offered. In a nutshell, the team doesn't want to be on the hook for guaranteed money in the event that Stewart can't play due to his own detrimental conduct, which is now a standard clause for most first rounders. In other words, hey, man, you get hurt. Yeah, you get your money. You know, you're not getting cut because you got hurt, but you end up in jail because you did something foolish. Well, your guaranteed dollars then go away. I understand why the Bengals would want to be protected by that. I would also understand why Shamar Stewart doesn't want to be the first guy in the organization to have to agree to that when no one else did before him. And so this is where, if you are Cincinnati, you go in and you meet somewhere in the middle. You give and take in a negotiation to get the deal done. Oh, especially with everybody's good friend Trey Hendrickson saying that he's holding out and he's not reporting. So you're really going to want to get your rookie in there more than you're going to want to establish your, bona fides for being shrewd negotiators at this particular time. Cincinnati is apparently one of the last NFL teams to add this type of language to its contract for first rounders. First round picks in previous years had details that said something completely different than the contract that is offered to Stewart. So it's understandable that the team's stance is, we don't want to pay you if you screw up. But it's also understandable that Stewart doesn't want to be the first guy to have to agree to this when no one else did before him. Again, get yourself in a room and negotiate it. Stop going through the public. Well, of course, the Bengals can't do that. And Mike Brown, the Bengals owner, used about as bad of an example as to what they're trying to do publicly in a press conference just yesterday when he said, quote, his agents want it to be so if he acted in terrible fashion, this is all hypothetical, something that rises to a level of going to prison, that we would be on the line for the guarantee for the future years that he hadn't been paid. Our position is if that happens, we're not going to be. We're not going to be paying someone who's sitting in jail. Okay, I get it. You don't have to explain that. And you certainly shouldn't have said it out loud, because now you've done more to imagine your first round draft pick sitting in a jail cell than you have getting to quarterbacks behind other teams' lines of scrimmage, for goodness sakes. How are you painting this guy? You can use the word, hey, it's all hypothetical, but you don't talk like that about a rookie publicly, especially. Look, you might, whatever you think about whether Shamar Stewart's going to be a good player or not, guess what his criminal past is? Guess how many times he's been in trouble with the law? He hasn't been. He hasn't run afoul of the law. He's not a guy who's known for getting in trouble. So, what are you doing? Oh, that's right, you're the Bengals. So, you wake up to screw it up. Like most people wake up in the morning and they choose, how do I go about my day successfully? Like the Bengals, they're like, how do I make my day even harder on myself at all times, almost in an unrelenting fashion? You have pushed away because of business your experienced veteran Pro Bowl defensive end, and you have kept away from your business because of new business your rookie defensive end that's supposed to be an answer to the headache of Trey Hendrickson doesn't want to play here anymore. Trey Hendrickson. I mean, what are you doing, Cincinnati? Get your first round defensive end who doesn't have a history of trouble in the building. If you got to redline a few sentences out of that, do that, and say to your entire scouting department, hey, first of all, why are you now so worried about his off-field discipline? Shouldn't that have been one of the questions that you had answered internally before you made that draft pick? That is crazy. And yeah, the new wide receiver they signed, St. Brown, is the brother of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Did you know that their dad's last name was Brown? Their dad's last name was Brown, and he didn't think it was sexy enough, so he added the Saint. It's the truth. But there you go. Equimenius St. Brown has been signed by the 49ers. This is not like, oh, your season just changed. Great signing level of signing, but this is somebody who does have NFL experience. Again, it's not a ton. 63 career catches for Equimenius St. Brown. Not bad. Not bad. Of all the guys that they brought in, again, he would have been the one guy who I would have signed based on what you've done in this league in the group of 7 wide receivers that they worked out on Monday. But before I would want Equimenius St. Brown, I would want Keenan Allen. I'm in week 4 here, and I'm not going to stop. They should sign Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen, the minute he walked into their wide receiver room, might be the best wide receiver in the room. That's the guy I'm signing. Then let everybody else figure it out around him, behind him. If you got a problem with who is on your depth chart the day Brandon Ayuk's ready to play again, that's a good problem to have, not a bad problem. You know, he's going to be he's more than a camp body, but you get signed this late in the equation. You know, there's reasons why other teams haven't come to you. This is a player who will probably not impact this year greatly, but he makes an already questionable wide receiver room a little less questionable, but questions remain. Again, I don't think the wide receiver room is in trouble, says Taylor Archibald, as long as Christian McCaffrey is healthy. Look, Christian McCaffrey catches footballs like a wide receiver, but he doesn't affect the depth of that room. And life gets easier for Christian McCaffrey if there are a few wide receivers who can run some coverage off of him as well. So, again, you want to be good everywhere. You want to be good everywhere. Now, let's not do this. The 49ers season is cooked. I mean, it's a little early for that, don't you think? It's a little early to declare everything here is awesome. It's definitely too early to declare everything here is terrible. Some good Jennings news coming from John Lynch. Okay, well, tell me when the name's on the contract. Until then, I don't give a shit. If he's out there on the field on Tuesday, it will be good news. If he is not, on Wednesday, if he's out there on Wednesday, great news. If he's not out there on Wednesday, that means someone didn't quite assess the situation as it needed to be assessed in the moment you were assessing it. Again, I'm not here for any more blah, blah, blahs. Get it done. Get it done. Tommy, you mean tomorrow? Yes, I mean tomorrow. Joe Sullivan not happy with the amount of likes on this live stream, and if Joe's not happy with it, then I'm not happy with it either. Get your likes up, boys and girls. It helps the algorithm push the live stream out and keep it alive after we are all done, so people can find it for a replay tonight. I see a spike in views in that 6 o'clock hour. A lot of people get home, they watch the show. Thank you very, very much. Leon Sandcastle coming in with a super. Saying St. Brown, good blocker, good roots, and off year with Kubiak. Okay. Leon, hey, I hope you're right. I really do. I hope you are right. I hope Equimania St. Brown ends up in the freaking Pro Bowl. That'd be fantastic. You will officially be able to say, the Niners will, we're the only ones who saw that coming, if something like that were to happen. But again, Equimania St. Brown, sure. I like Jacob Cowing. Jacob Cowing has only caught 4 balls in his NFL life. I need someone with a little bit more production. Again, Equimania St. Brown, 63 career NFL catches. Keenan Allen, 974 career catches. That's the guy I would like to see in. So we will be down in Santa Clara tomorrow. I'll tell you what Equimania St. Brown looks like in person tomorrow. We'll be doing a video from somewhere outside the practice facility as soon as practice is over to get you the information as quickly as we can. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, I'm not here to waste anybody's time. Football is all that matters today. I could tell you that the San Francisco Giants are playing a little bit later on today against the Atlanta Braves, and boy, they are desperate for a win. Oh, man, are the Giants desperate for a win. The Giants are winless in the second half. They've now lost 6 in a row. And Hayden Birdsong, who if the postseason began today, Hayden Birdsong's their 3rd starter. Hayden Birdsong hit a wall yesterday, rarely seen. In a 9-5 loss to Atlanta on Monday, he walked his first 3 batters before giving up a 3-run double. He then walks Ozzy Albies and Sean Murphy before he was removed from the game before he even recorded an out. Terrible. terrible performance from Birdsong, who also had a wild pitch to Matt Olson, nearly hit Robert Acuna earlier in the inning. Only 6 of his 25 pitches went for strikes. He's now walked 17 batters in his last 13 innings. He has lost all command of the strike zone. It's like he's gotten worse as the year's gone along. Not better, not more confident, less confident, not more in command, less in command. I can't explain it. Pitching is a funny thing. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. But man, I'm just telling you right now, the Giants, if they really think that this year's going anywhere fast, they're fooling themselves. Now, whether that means they conduct business like buyers or sellers here at the deadline, I still don't know which they should do. I mean, if you're going to be a seller, go crazy. What could you get back for Logan Webb and then come on back a year or two from now and really, start putting together a contender? Camilo Duvall. What are you going to get for Robbie, for Ray? What could you get? You would probably shoot any hope of your postseason right in the foot this year if you were to do that, but you would probably have a better shot next year. And look, this year's going nowhere fast, man. The Giants, it's the same old song. They got an awful lot of pitching. They can't hit their way out of a bad situation, a good situation. There is no situation in which you can count on the hitting to come through now, forever, for always. It's mind-numbingly repetitive how this happens all the time. The Giants should do nothing but draft hitters from here on out. You can sign pitchers to come play for the Giants. You cannot sign a hitter, especially with Rafael Devers telling everybody the minute you get to the Giants, you forget how to hit a baseball. It's one of the staggering fall-offs of who you thought you were getting and who you got. The only guy going right now for the Giants is Willy Adames, who was 4 for 5 in Atlanta with a home run, 2 doubles, and 2 RBIs. So today, to try to stop the bleeding, Landon Roop, God be with you, young man. Giants need that win column badly. So Landon Roop today, 4 o'clock, big start for the Giants. They are desperate to get back into the win column. Desperate. Sam Bruno Mike, offense is offensive. Defense is embarrassing at times. It's hard to watch the Gigantes right now. I mean, torture. It's torture. Seriously, I'm kind of bummed that Ozzy Osbourne passed away. I always liked his song Shot in the Dark. I mean, that's like new Ozzy compared to, that was like MTV Ozzy. Shot in the dark, one step away from you. That was always a good song. I always thought like, oh man, that's so melodic for a heavy metal song. Jeez. Chino says, clearly the Giants need to add another random color to the City Connects. Yeah, seriously. Stopped by for lunch at Ike's in Monterey and told them Damon Bruce sent me. They did not know what I was talking about, even though one of the sandwiches was named after you. Well, okay. They're probably the person working at Ike's was like an 18-year-old know-nothing. So, you can't ask that generation to really know anything. But you should be like, well, he is a sandwich. So you should know. And here's the thing. As long as you ordered the sandwich, then they'll know. But hey, I'm on the first rung of the ladder of fame. I am never offended when someone doesn't know who I am. So you should not be either. You should not be either. We got I grew up in the 90s saying, Damon, enough about this loser stickball. Let's talk about the Gold Rush cheerleaders. I need to know if they'll be ready for week 1. Yeah, I certainly hope so. Who's the third celebrity to pass Damon? Oh, lots of celebrities go flying past me. What are you talking about? Dude, Gold Rush, hopefully ready to go. Are any of the Gold Rush holding out? Are any of the Gold Rush holding in? Could you imagine that if there were a cheerleader holdout? How long would it take before anybody even really noticed or cared? By the way, that's the warning I would give the WNBA as they're considering getting all hard over their upcoming CBA. If you were to walk out or get locked out or strike, I wonder how many news cycles that story would even last through before like your absence was just so completely out of sight, out of mind. I'm going to tell the WNBA, Uncle Damon, who you don't come to for advice often, Uncle Damon is telling you, be very careful with your next few steps here, ladies. You should be worth more than what you're getting paid. But to think that $1 million a year salary should be the regular salary for a league that is yet to generate money. Again, there is projected revenue being generated about franchise value, but actual business and money being done around the NBA is hard to define or see or understand. So, look, if the Golden State Valkyries are truly worth $500 million, then the worst paid Valkyrie should be making more than what, like $72,000 a year or whatever it is. It's not a lot of money. You know, it should be $100,000, couple of $100,000 a year job. But the millions for everyone in the league, no, that is not the universe that league exists in yet. NFL cheerleaders are heavily underpaid. Well, Jamie, I mean, what do you want to pay a cheerleader? How about this? If they all walked away today, the game goes on. It's not like we're really built. I mean, do they add a little something? Sure, I guess. I mean, I really don't go to sporting events for titillation. You know, there's so much going on the sidelines. It's easy to not even see the cheerleaders. I don't know how much of an impact they make. You know, I'm surprised. How about this? I grew up rooting for the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears, throughout most of their history, didn't even have cheerleaders. Nobody cared. Anyway, I agree with you here, Christopher. Give me Frisbee Dog at halftime. Frisbee Dog, that guy, that guy works for peanuts. Get me Frisbee Dog. There is no joke. There's no joke there. I would much rather also watch Frisbee Dog. I'm speaking of shirts. Yeah, what joke shirts is it? Pay us what you owe us. I grew up in the 90s. Yeah, the WNBA had that as their message during their All-Star week. Pay us what you owe us. Like what? They're pimps? Bitch better have my money? Pay us what you owe us. I mean, come on. All right. Hey, look, I am all for everyone getting what they deserve. I really am. But what does the WNBA really earn? What would the WNBA's financial be like if the NBA stopped underwriting the league entirely? And tell me what the numbers look like then, because that's the salary that we should be operating from. Not wide-eyed, optimistic, where is the sport 30 years from now? Okay. So let's see. Equimania St. Brown is a 49er. See you at the Super Bowl, everybody. I'm going to be down there for training camp practice tomorrow, I believe Thursday, maybe even Friday as well. I will go check out what I am seeing on the chat is an audio challenged press conference. They had audio problems today down in Santa Clara. That's great. Get that, you know, look, how are you going to host a Super Bowl if you got audio problems in your press conference room? Come on now. God, I love Levi Stadium. I love leaving San Francisco to cover the San Francisco 49ers. Ugh. Anyway. Joe Schmo. Who? Equiminius St. Brown, baby. It's a great name. All right. Today in history. Are you ready? Lots of birthdays today. Happy birthday to a guy who lives in and loves San Francisco, Danny Glover. I had lunch one day in a restaurant, a couple tables away from Danny Glover. Just a nice, unassuming guy. Looked like he was there with somebody in his family that day. It was just cool to be hanging out with Roger Murtaugh. Happy birthday, Danny Glover, 79 years old. Today, Willem Dafoe, 70 years old. Willem Dafoe. John Leguizamo today turned 65. He still sees nothing wrong with a little bit of bump and grind. Keith Sweat, 64 years old today. Lots of people in their 60s. David Spade, 61 years old. David Spade. Oh, little sweet chin music. I wonder if he can still get his leg up that high. Shawn Michaels, 60 years old. Shawn Michaels with a little sweet chin music. And again, more proof. I mean, I remember her when she was just a little Disney princess in her teens. And already now, Selena Gomez has grown up. She is 33 years old today. Happy birthday to everyone celebrating a birthday today. Hold on, what do we got here? Got some Danny Glover news here. Saw Danny Glover walking down Ocean Beach one foggy morning. That's nice. Oh, no. Equimania St. Brown has a podcast. Another wide receiver with a podcast. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Jeez. Don't know if we need that. Yeah, by the way, we were just talking about birthdays. What sad news that Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away yesterday. Theo from The Cosby Show. He drowned while on vacation. It's just terrible, man. I loved The Cosby Show. I mean, I know that we can't say anything nice about Bill Cosby anymore, and rightfully so. That guy seemed to be el rapist, but man, The Cosby Show, it's impossible to explain to the modern kid how big of a deal The Cosby Show was. Like, no one particular TV show anymore is as big as The Cosby Show was. It was a monster. Theo, what was it? Gartrell. What was the name of the Grant Gartrell? He asked Lisa to make a designer shirt. Oh, that was so funny. When he came downstairs, lip syncing the song, that was great. Again, I loved The Cosby Show as a kid. Absolutely loved The Cosby Show. All right, what else we got going on today in history? How about this? Happy birthday, Cleveland? Kinda. Today in 1796, surveyors of the Connecticut Land Company named an area in Ohio Cleveland after General Moses Cleveland, the superintendent of the surveying party. By the way, good way to suck up to the boss, right? Hey, look at all this land. Who should we name it after? Name it after the boss. You freaking apple polisher, you. Today in 1923, this is the opposite of the way Hayden Burnsong played last night. Today in 1923, Walter Johnson became the very first pitcher in baseball history to strike out 3,000 batters, not all in one game, of course. His career record of 3,508 strikeouts stood until 1983. So from 1923 to 1983, Walter Johnson was at the top of the baseball list, strikeouts. Today in 1943, led by General Patton, Allied forces took Palermo, the northwest corner of Sicily, giving a strategic foothold in which to invade mainland Italy during World War II. It's amazing how much, all of our World War II conversations are about France and Germany. It's like Italy was the forgotten World War II battlefront. We don't talk about it. The whole Mussolini thing, fascism, which I hear is very cool again. But yeah, there you go. It's like somebody should do a movie called World War II Italia. World War II. Yeah, people just seeing it. Damn, Ozzy's gone? Yeah. By the way, that's Ozzy as in Ozzy Smith. Ozzy as in Osbourne is Ozzy. Okay. I keep on saying we try to avoid movies, but then there are huge movies that come out and I include them. So I should probably stop giving you the today in history we avoid movies caveat, because clearly we don't avoid movies if the movie means something to me. Today in 1983, Mr. Mom came out. One of my favorite Michael Keaton performances in any movie there is. It's maybe his best, his single best performance in any movie. Michael Keaton, Mr. Mom, great movie. Terry Garr, Martin Mull is in that movie. So 80s. Mr. Mom. I can relate to it now, too, by the way. Now, I'm kind of like the Mr. Mom of my house. Got Jillian out there crushing it for the family. I make sure dinner's ready and the kids are picked up, and I do whatever the hell this is. Another great movie today came out in 1988. This is peak Charles Grodin. Great Robert De Niro. Midnight Run. If you want to watch a great movie, Midnight Run. Check it out. If you've never seen Midnight Run, it is fantastic. Today in 1991, Jeff Dahmer, his friends called him Jeffrey, was arrested in Milwaukee after police discovered human remains in his apartment. This guy was eating them and storing them in a one-bedroom. Jeffrey Dahmer became a household name today in 1991. Speaking of household names, today in 1992, Colombian drug trafficker Pablo Escobar. He escaped from police custody as he faced transfer from basically, he built his own luxurious prison and he escaped from it. And then they were looking for him. And he was a fugitive until December of 93 when he was killed during a shootout with law enforcement. Again, all they wanted to do was him to go to the prison that he built for himself, which was a mansion. And he's like, nah, I'm Pablo Escobar. I'm going to do it my way. There you go. Yeah. Pablo, what a goofball. Seriously, what an 8-ball. This is Quai Jaws. Shout out to Jillian for being a badass. First of all, it's Jillian with a G. Don't drop that Jill on her. She doesn't like that. But yeah, indeed, badass. That escape was so well planned, right on camera in front of their face. Exactly. Look at it this way. If you're going to be a drug dealer, be a good enough drug dealer to when you get caught, you get to build your own prison. Got to respect that. Birdsong just got sent down to AAA. Well, that's what happens when you don't record an out. Not surprised there. Again, their number 3 starter, should the playoffs be tomorrow, just got sent down to AAA. You want to be buyers at the deadline? Not good. Not good. Oh, geez. Chef A. Speaking of movies, oh my God, I just watched Happy Gilmore for the first time last night. Happy Gilmore. If you didn't watch that when you were high as fucking college, I don't know if it is going to work as well for you as it did for me at the time that I saw it and was high as fucking college. When it was actually funny, it's still pretty funny. Happy Gilmore definitely has its parts in it. Happy Gilmore 2, like a sequel, is coming out soon on Netflix. I'm worried. I think we should all be very, very worried. Did we really need a Happy Gilmore 2? Yeah, Christopher, we're like the same guy. I don't think the new Happy Gilmore is going to be very good. I'm worried. You should all be worried. We should all be worried. Finally, to wrap up today in history, today in 1996, The Daily Show debuted on Comedy Central what that did for Comedy Central as a network, what that show did for Jon Stewart, what that show did for just the general conversation we're all having about politics. It's a pretty good show. It's an important show. It's a comedy show that sadly does a better job at framing news than some news networks actually do. And that's a major problem with America, and I guess that's a good place to leave today's show, don't you think? But hey, Equiminius St. Brown, everybody. At least you got that going for you. That's right, it was Craig Kilborn. He was the first, wasn't he? Or did Craig Kilborn take over for a little while? It was Craig Kilborn. That's right. Look at it this way. That show did more to change Jon Stewart's career, though, than Craig Kilborn, because what's Craig Kilborn doing now? When's the last time you said the name Craig Kilborn out loud? By the way, I really liked Craig Kilborn. I remember when they would do the Moment of Zen and they would have the exploding head opening up the Moment of Zen. That's some old school Daily Show right there. All right. It is fantastic talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on by today. Hit like and subscribe on your way out if you haven't. It would mean an awful lot. We got merch. We got football around the corner. We got video from Santa Clara coming to you tomorrow. The next day, our buddy Sam Batesh is going to be back before you know it. And just on our way out the door, a little bang bang drop in the jar from Barry Ford. Thank you very, very much, Barry. Appreciate it. You give Mary my best. All of you. Thank you so very, very much. You get my best at all times. We'll be back here shortly with another live one. But again, as training camp opens up, Daddy's going to be on assignment. We're going on location. We'll be broadcasting from like the top of a parking garage or wherever we did that last video from when we were down there for mini camp. This is mega camp. Looking forward to getting down there. All of you, have yourselves a great afternoon. A little bit of a rainy, crummy day here in San Francisco, so go about business accordingly. Again, you got to start drinking that rain away. Get to the Dubliner West portal. You want to eat your pain away, get yourself to Ike's, wherever you can find an Ike's. Have it delivered to you. Have it delivered to the office. And make sure you tell them when you tip generously at all times, your bartenders, your servers, your delivery drivers, everyone. If you're not going to tip generously, why bother tipping at all? You can also include the very good life advice that is, sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone.